Welcome to Intro to GatherTown for Virtual Farpoint 2021. I'm your host Matthew Shokran, and I'll be showing you how to use some of the features that you might find useful while attending Virtual Farpoint. First off, obviously because of COVID we cannot be together in person, however we are doing our best to bring the in-person feel online. In honor of that ideal, we are going to be using GatherTown to tie together the different pieces of our convention. So to begin with, you will see the link and password for Farpoint GatherTown on your screen. I'm giving you a moment to go ahead and write them down. However, you can also find them on the convention website. Okay, that should be plenty of time. As you log in, you will see it takes you there. You do have to enter the password, which should then take you to this page. You'll see that most browsers will ask you to give permission to your microphone and permission to your camera. You will see now it's showing a different camera down here instead of up there, because yes, I have multiple cameras on my device. If you have multiple cameras on your device, this is where you can go to switch between them. This is where you can switch your microphones, and this is where you can switch which speakers you're using. Yes, I have way too many on this computer, or just enough depending on what I'm doing. If you don't put anything in the name, you will be walking around as anonymous, which means people will have a hard time figuring out who you are until they walk up and look at your camera or hear your voice. I'm naming myself recording for this session. I'm naming myself recording for this session so that people can see that I am walking around doing a recording. Okay, so you'll see when you join, you come in the lobby. This will look vaguely like the Hunt Valley Inn, as we have built our online space to look as much like the Hunt Valley Inn in real life as we can, but without the long hallways and corresponding long walking times. The first thing you will see are some of the tables where you can sit and chat with your friends, as well as we have replaced the registration with info, schedule, and tech support booths. Any of these booths you can walk up to and hit X to interact, and it will bring up the appropriate website for that booth. As you see here, the schedule. This shows the schedule for the day. Yes, you can interact with it, scroll around, sort it, click on the individual items so that they expand. Yes, GatherTown is doing auto muting. I'll show you how to turn that off in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and close out of that now. So, I've shown you how to use X to interact. If you're wondering how to move, because I didn't actually cover that yet, you will see you need to use the ASWD keys or your arrow keys, which work the same way. You have the G key, which you hold down, lets you walk through people. As you can see there, and you don't interact with people while you're in ghost mode. That's what they call the G, holding down the G key. Other keyboard commands you may be interested in: holding down the Z key has you dance. The X key, as I already mentioned, is for interacting. Things to note in our design of the space. you will notice uh, at the tables, anybody sitting at the table is in what's considered a private chat or private discussion area. It even pops up private space warnings as you enter them. This means that only the people sitting in that private space can hear you or see you. You notice I'm hopping into a private space here, and you can see people. FYI, everybody, I'm doing a recording of how to. FYI of everybody, I'm doing a recording of how to use GatherTown, so you're going to show up on that momentarily. I'm hopping off in a second. Boom. So, as you saw, that's a private space around the tech support. If you're out in the lobby or any non-private space, as you walk up, you'll see they slowly fade in as you get closer, so you can listen in as you're getting closer and see, is this a conversation I want to go ahead and come in on, or do I want to head off and go to something else? Other than the areas around tables, we also have a private space in the hot tubs. So you'll see up here, the hot tub, you see it grays out the whole area around you. Each hot tub is its own private space. Now, heading over in the general direction of the elevator lobby. Instead of elevators, we have doors going to the various spaces. You'll see there's doors going to the lower level gaming, green room, and the staff area. The green room and staff are for presenters and staff individually. They have passwords to enter. Gaming and the lower level are open. Let's check out the lower level first. So, here in the lower level, you will notice, if you're familiar with the Hunt Valley, that we have moved Chase, Tack, Derby, and Belmont down here. This is so that all of our panel rooms are in the same area and saves everybody the long walks. You'll notice outside of each panel room, there is a sign. As you walk up to it, you see it highlights yellow. If you hit the X to interact key, it will bring up the schedule for that room, which you can click on to get more details of the individual items or a registration for the item. All registrations are free. Once it is time for that item, if you walk into the space, the X to interact will be functioning within that space. It will also display the name of the scheduled panel in the room. These will show up approximately 30 minutes before the scheduled start time of the panel and will continue to show up through the scheduled end time of the panel. There is approximately 30 minutes in between where people can use these rooms for after panel discussions. They can also have after panel discussions in the Discord chat as well if they wish. Moving over here, you'll see we are entering the dealer's fan table and art show areas. We were originally going to have all three as separate areas and rooms. We closed those off and merged them all into one when we had a lot fewer tables than we expected. You'll see going through that area, you get to the traditional Hunt and Valley ballrooms. We have a dance floor set up. We will be running 10 for the whole weekend. The DJ will be, there will be a DJ for the dance floor, and you will be hearing his music during the hours of the convention, and probably a bunch afterwards as well. Again, with the various panels and booths, as you walk up to them and hit X to interact, if people are manning the booth, you can still talk to them as well as their page is loading. Of course, I clicked on one whose page is taking a while to load at the moment. There we go. Yes, within iframes, it does slow down loading of pages with lots of graphics. However, you can do shopping while you're still talking with the person at the booth and others around. You will also notice here at the bottom of the escalator, of where the escalator should be, there's a door that acts as an escalator to the upper level. So now we've gone through that. We are now moving on to the game room. Gaming works very much like any of the other small items. You can walk up to a table, hit X to interact, and it will load the game at that table. Some of them do require registering and logging in. Many of them you can play without or with. They are group games. You can also maintain a chat with everybody sitting at the table with you while you do so. Now I'm going to go over some of the controls and what they mean. You will see here, first off, your icon. You can change it. You'll see a whole bunch of preloaded looks for your icons of all shapes and sizes. We have wheelchairs, we have all sorts of things. We even have a snowman, and that's what I'm going to pick for this recording. I think I'm going to make him have a blue scarf this time. So as you see, now I'm walking around as a snowman with a blue scarf on. Next over, you'll see if you click on your name, here's where you can edit your name. Here's where you can put up a status. So you'll see it shows up over here on the participant list, as well as over here at the bottom here. People will see it as they walk up to you as well. Next option down, user video preferences. This is where you can go and change it if you selected the wrong camera or the wrong microphone, speakers, or whatnot. You can change your name. Remember I mentioned the idle muting? I turn that off all the time. That way when you tab over to, say, OBS Studios or your script, it keeps you active in GatherTown. I turn on HD video because my computer and internet can handle it. Use smooth movement is a very nice feature, and but does take up some CPU usage, so turn that off if you are if you're not active. If you are having problems with your computer keeping up with everything you're trying to do with this virtual convention. Last on this list, we have the respawn button. This will take you back to the entrance from anywhere in the convention. Sign in. If you create an account with GatherTown, you can sign into it and it will save your passwords and bring you back to wherever you were last in Spaces. I'm not going to sign in this video because I've created an extra account just for this recording, obviously. Next, coming over on here, you have the mini-map. If you click on it, you will see a lovely mini-map that shows you the level you're currently on and where you're at in it. You'll see as I'm walking around, it is slow to update at the moment, but it will update. So it shows you where you are. Next is screen share. You can share your screens to those around you. If you're in a private chat, it's only the chatting around you. You will see you can select screens. If you have multiple screens, you can select individual applications. If you have, or you can select individual tabs within your browser. It will only show you tabs of the browser that you are logged in. So since I used Chrome to join, it only shows me my Chrome tabs. If I was in Firefox, it would show me my Firefox tabs. Next over are your emojis or reactions. You will see applause, heart to show caring or support. This is supposed to be the noisemakers you blow at New Year's and whatnot to signal celebration. Thumbs up for general agreement. Questions so that you don't have to interrupt anybody but let people know that you do have a question. The last one is raise your hand. This feature is the only one that shows up on the participants list. We are using it to let techs know that you need support. So, since I've raised my hand, the tech on duty rushes over to help me as soon as they're able. Um, Obviously, when we have a couple hundred or a couple thousand people in here, it may be slow going for the tech to get over to me. You'll see, yes, this tech is in fact just me on another computer, which is why I'm not unmuting so we don't get lovely echoes. However, I'm using this camera and this computer. When I'm done, this is also the only reaction you have to take down by either clicking on it again or hitting the clear button. Once you're done with that, then the tech can head over and back to tech support for the next person who needs support. Okay. Moving on, I've mentioned it before, but here's the participants list. You'll see there's also the invite list at the bottom. You can right click on anybody here, send them a direct message, send a friend request, locate on map, which will show you a route to them, or follow, which will run you over to them. However, somebody's in the way, so I'm going to hold down the G key and go straight through them. Now I'm going to stop locating and stop following, and you'll notice I'd be stuck if I didn't have that lovely G key. That's why it's there for the ghost mode. Next up on this list is the chat window. You can chat with people that are nearby you, you can chat with everyone, and you can chat with individual people. Next up is our events list. This will update throughout the day. It updates from a Google Calendar. It will show the names, it will show the locations and the times. You can go to those locations to get more details. The build menu should be disabled for all of you unless you're one of my staff that's watching this. Next up, this is another way to get to that user screen I was showing you earlier. And then finally up here at the top we have the grapes, which is the icon for GatherTown. You have another link to that lovely invite option. You have GatherTown FAQs. This takes you out to opens another tab, which shows you frequently asked questions from GatherTown. You can send feedback and issues to GatherTown. It does not go to us here at the convention, so we won't see anything of that. Open GatherTown in desktop app. You can download an application that runs on your desktop. We're not recommending users use that. It seems to be in beta at the moment. There are some glitches with interacting, especially at some of the dealer tables. It doesn't work as nicely with some websites that the dealers are using, especially a couple of the all of the games work in it. The tech support page is also questionable. If you're having any issues, go to the tech support up front, raise your hand, or go to and open a tech support in the Discord. More info on Discord in our video on our Discord setup. Thank you very much for watching, and welcome to Virtual Farpoint 2021. Have a very nice day.